The IED went off on a Tuesday morning in Kandahar. I remember that detail perfectly, even though I can't remember the sound it made or the moment I lost my leg. What I do remember is waking up in Germany 3 days later, staring at a ceiling that wasn't trying to kill me for the first time in 18 months. My name is Jake Sullivan, and I'd been deployed twice to Iraq and once to Afghanistan as a combat engineer. 22 years old when I first shipped out. 32 when that roadside bomb sent me home for good. In between, I'd married Sarah, the girl I'd loved since high school. She promised she'd wait for me through all 3 deployments. She kept that promise, technically speaking. The recovery was brutal. Physical therapy, learning to walk with a prosthetic, dealing with phantom pain that would wake me up screaming. But Sarah was there. At least, I thought she was. She'd visit the VA hospital, hold my hand during the worst moments, tell me everything would be okay. Looking back, I realized she was already somewhere else in her mind. I came home to our little house in Columbus, Ohio, 8 months after the explosion. Sarah had redecorated the bedroom, installed grab bars in the bathroom, even built a ramp to the front door. For the first few weeks, it felt like we might actually make it. We'd been married 4 years, together for 10. I thought love could survive anything. The first sign something was wrong came 3 months after I got home. Sarah started working late more often. Marketing job, she said. New clients, big projects. I believed her because I wanted to. When you've seen what I've seen overseas, you want to believe your home is sacred, that some things remain untouched by the ugliness of the world. I was wrong. The truth revealed itself on a Thursday evening in March. I'd been to my support group at the VA, and I came home early. Sarah's car was in the driveway, along with a black BMW I didn't recognize. I used my key quietly, thinking maybe it was her boss or a client. The voices from the living room stopped me cold. Does he suspect anything? A man's voice, deep and confident. Jake. No, he's too focused on his therapy and feeling sorry for himself. Sarah's voice, but not the gentle tone I knew. This was colder, dismissive. Good. Because I'm not interested in dealing with some broken soldier's drama. I stood there leaning on my crutches, trying to process what I was hearing. My wife of 4 years, the woman who'd promised to love me in sickness and in health, was discussing our marriage like it was an inconvenience. He's not broken, Sarah said, and for a moment my heart lifted. He's just different now. Damaged. It's not his fault. But I can't pretend I'm attracted to half a man. Half a man. The words hit harder than the IED ever could. I waited in the kitchen, listening to them plan their next meeting. Discuss how long Sarah thought she could keep up the charade. 20 minutes later, I heard the front door close and Sarah's footsteps coming toward the kitchen. Hey, honey, she said, kissing my cheek like nothing had happened. How was group therapy? I looked at my wife, this stranger wearing Sarah's face, and said, fine, just fine. For 2 weeks, I played along. I pretended I didn't know, gathering information like I'd been trained to do in the army. His name was Derek Hoffman, a real estate developer, married, with 2 kids. Sarah had been seeing him for 6 months, since before I'd even come home from the hospital. The breaking point came on a Saturday afternoon. Derek showed up at our house while Sarah was at the grocery store. Bold move, or maybe just arrogant. He rang the doorbell like he belonged there. I answered the door on my crutches. He looked me up and down with undisguised contempt. You must be Jake, he said, not offering to shake hands. Sarah's told me about you. I'm sure she has. He stepped closer, crowding me in my own doorway. Look, soldier boy, let's cut through the pretense. Sarah's moving on with her life. You should do the same. Is that right? She deserves a whole man, not some charity case playing house. His eyes dropped to my missing leg. Besides, what are you going to do about it? Chase me down? He laughed at his own cruelty. Actually laughed. Something shifted in me then. Not anger exactly, but a cold clarity I hadn't felt since my last patrol in Afghanistan. This man had taken my wife, mocked my sacrifice, and violated my home. But he'd made one crucial mistake. He'd underestimated what I was capable of. You're right, I said calmly. I can't chase you down, but I can do other things. He seemed confused by my tone. Like what? Like taking photos of your car in my driveway and sending them to your wife Jennifer. Like documenting every text message between you. And Sarah. Like making sure your construction company knows exactly what kind of family man they have representing them. The smirk faded from his face. You see, Derek, I'm not just a broken soldier. I'm a combat engineer with a degree in computer science and access to resources you can't imagine. I've spent the last 2 weeks learning everything about you, your business, your family, your other girlfriends. Yes, plural. Sarah's not your only side project. He took a step back. I know about the corners you cut on the Morrison development, the safety violations you covered up, the kickbacks from your concrete supplier. I know about your gambling debts and the money you've been skimming from investor accounts. Derek's face had gone pale. You're bluffing. I pulled out my phone and showed him a photograph of him, entering a hotel with a brunette who definitely wasn't. Sarah, this was taken last Tuesday. Should I show you the others? What do you want? I want you to disappear from my wife's life. Completely. No contact. No explanations. No goodbyes. Just gone. And if I don't? Then I make some phone calls. The IRS gets an anonymous tip about your tax evasion. The state licensing board learns about your safety violations. Your wife gets a very detailed folder about your activities. And your biggest investor, the one whose daughter goes to school with your kids, finds out exactly what you've been doing with his money. Derek stared at me for a long moment. I could see him calculating, weighing his options. Finally, he nodded. This isn't over, he said. Yes, it is. 3 days later, Derek Hoffman moved his family to Phoenix. Sarah was devastated, confused, angry. She accused me of somehow driving him away, but she couldn't prove anything. I played the innocent husband, offering comfort while she grieved her lost affair. The marriage lasted another 6 months. Sarah couldn't handle the guilt of what I knew but couldn't prove I knew. She filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. I didn't contest it. She got the house, and I got my freedom. 2 years later, I'm living in a veterans community in Colorado, running a nonprofit that helps disabled veterans transition to civilian life. I've got a girlfriend named Maria who loves every part of me, including the parts that are made of titanium and carbon fiber. We hike together, ski together, and she's never once made me feel like less than a whole man. Sometimes people ask me if I regret not fighting for my marriage, if I should have tried couples therapy or forgiveness. But here's what I learned in those dark months. Some betrayals cut so deep. They sever the foundation of who you thought you were. Sarah didn't just cheat on me. She mocked my sacrifice, dismissed my pain, and let another man disrespect me in my own home. I didn't need revenge in the traditional sense. I needed to remember who I was before the bomb, before the hospital, before the woman I loved made me feel broken. I was a soldier, a protector, a man who solved problems and completed missions. Derek Hoffman was just another problem to solve. The leg I lost in Afghanistan took my mobility, but it never took my mind, my training, or my ability to outthink someone who underestimated me. Some wars are fought with weapons. Others are fought with information, patience, and the quiet satisfaction of watching your enemy defeat himself. I survived 3 tours of duty and a roadside bomb. A cheating wife and her arrogant boyfriend were never going to be what finished me. They just reminded me that the most important battles aren't always fought on foreign soil. Sometimes they're fought in your own living room. And sometimes the best victory is simply walking away whole.